Welcome to the audio series from my book, The Ballad of Gatito Negro. Ep.001, The Prelude. He was born into a world of slavery, but not the traditional kind. No whips, no chains, just an eternal battle, a chess match with the opposition. He claims no ties to organized religion, yet the fire in his mystically blue eyes told a story, one that transcends just one mere lifetime. What an untapped world that lies behind his focus, this experience he was subjected to at the hands of his God, or all the ones he served for. As of now, El Gatito, he's a deity. He's achieved a level of mastery and timing, and has given up his biggest temptation and worldly vice to seek atonement for mistakes in past lives. So let's start at the beginning. Timeline 1, Red Rum. He was born into a wealthy family in 1900s Italy. Due to increased racial tension between Sicilians of African descent and those with fairer skin tones, radicals and extremists began to feel that darker skin equated with some sort of inferiority. But nonetheless, Father Nicholas, a pillar of the community and an honest, brave Catholic man, sat at his desk and continued to push forward as a respected Afro-Sicilian politician. Despite all the hate, even as Gatto loved his father so, he could always see there was a pain in his heart and a distance in his father's focus. It's like he's never looking directly at me. I'm going to tell him how I feel today, said Gatto as he paced around his junky room. He then walked down the dimly lit corridor, and as he walked, he couldn't help but smell the violets and cinnamon. He knew he could ask his father anything. I'm old enough to help, Papa, yelled Gatito. Listen, my son, this is not the path I want for you. This path is for me to walk alone. I never loved your mother, son. Now, most would think or receive these words negatively, but Nicholas knew the caliber of this child's mind, and he feared his potential would upset the balance he was trying so hard to keep. He loved him, but this kid was on a completely different vibrational level than even him in all his years of faith in his beliefs. But he never loved his mother. Just a drunken regret, a decision that shattered his life and capped his true potential. She took advantage of him mentally and manipulated him out of his true gift. But nonetheless, every child is a gift. Can you really blame him for not really caring to nurture a seed he made in deceit? But I digress. Gatito was hurt by his father's response. His own father couldn't accept him because he didn't fit into his perfect picture. He wasn't dejected. He was actually kind of relieved by his Spanish heritage. His skin wasn't white or black. It was a golden brown or honey complexion. No blue eyes, just dark and black like his mother's. His father couldn't see his true worth, neither did those in the community. They were always polite, but they never got too close. So at 8 years old, Gatito made the pivotal move for his life. He began a real game in hopes of finding his independence. End of chapter 1. Chapter 2. Planning the big move. Even at the tender age of 8 years old, Gatito was not interested in childish games. He liked to gamble. It gave him a thrill betting it all and testing his luck. He often got lucky, but as much as he won, he hardly got paid. But he knew he wouldn't. He was a kid. The money didn't matter. It was the energy, the thrill of winning that got him. And this seemingly normal vice in the 1900s was a real recipe for making a name for yourself and acquiring something that was more valuable than any money in a back alley dice game with a sweaty man betting his wife's engagement ring. He felt powerful. He didn't look so powerful though. Therefore, he had to wait for his breakthrough. In the meantime, he decided to do what he could. So here we find ourselves in a slum near the docks. It's raining. A few overtime workers are scrambling to get back to their bitchy wives and boring mundane lives. Gatito waits for them to leave. He then grabs his backpack, slips into a storage hold on the next ship to NYC. He finds a nice comfy spot for his journey, and he's amassed a small fortune in the past 2 months since hearing those words from his father. Voyage to NYC, El Gatito's memoirs, available separately. These notes and reflections from Gatito's life before the big move, while he was on his voyages and prison stays. Alright, so it's been about a month, and young Gatito just touched down in a crummy dock just outside of Manhattan, in a crime-infested wasteland. This was a time where law and vice went hand in hand. Crooklyn, the real New York. From the second Gatito shuffled out of his makeshift bed and left, he realized there was no one around, no people. The streets was dead silent. Confused at the silence, he raised an eyebrow perplexed. How could this be the city of dreams? There's nothing here, no life. Maybe I came to the wrong place. Stupid ship captain, I suppose. The thing is, Gatito arrived in New York City. He's been there for weeks already. He just never realized because of that cold he caught and that little birdie he set free. The cargo sat for months because unknowingly to Gatito, everything in that cargo ship belonged to the most sinister mob boss in town, the Mad Hatter. As we proceed in this story, we'll be referring to this man as Big Al. You see, Big Al is not your run-of-the-mill suspect character. He's a mastermind with a real short fuse and balls made from the kind of brass needed to make hard decisions, but he had two fatal flaws. So not realizing the day or hour, Gatito began his first task he set for himself. I have to find a life, see new people, new faces, make this real. Can I have that, Mother Mary? Yes, my son. Anything your heart desires, said Mother Mary. Anything. End of episode 1. Bonus. Clarity. Mother Mary is a fictitious character whom Gatito developed as an adolescent to cope with his mental trauma as a result of his absent and neglectful mother, who is very much alive. I digress. She's the definition of a toxic woman without a natural urge to nurture or protect her child. So simply put, she's an ice queen. Mary is Gatito's perfect image of his mother who guides him at this point in the story. And if you're confused about some pieces of the story, purchase Gatito's memoirs. They will offer you some more clarity on Gatito's mind even at the age of 8 years old. Thank you.